Hello. Welcome to Embodied Leadership. We're going to get right into it. Getting right into Embodied Leadership. This is our week 3 class. Remember, I'm going live for the next 9 weeks. So 12 it's a 12-week series. You can catch the replay here on the Facebook group or on Instagram. And if you want to join the Facebook group, it is called Nourished Leaders. So come on in and join us, Nourished Leaders Collective, where we can really build this community together of women leaders who are embodied. Today we're going to be working with the back. So a little bit of backstory, if you will. I pulled my back last week and it's been a bit twingy. I got some cupping and some acupuncture therapy on Wednesday from a friend, and I definitely have noticed some relief. But if you've ever had acupuncture, you know it takes a few sessions. And so I'm definitely still dealing with the pain, although it is less severe. But I've been really working with my therapy balls and my hands to work with my fascia. So I thought it'd be a great thing for us to dive into today. Whether you have the balls or not, be sure to stay for this entire class because we're going to do some hands on work as well. So, whether you have back pain or not, this is for you because remember, it's all about tune up. It's about taking care of your body even when there is no pain, even when there is no disease. It's about keeping your body in a state of well being and balance. And what I love about fascia work, we can just start scrubbing into the chest here together, getting under any bra straps, any clothing, just getting that skin to skin contact. What I love about the fascia work is that not only are we healing ourselves and increasing nervous system regulation by going into the nervous system directly manually through those afferent pathways of body to brain, but we are actually getting intimate with our own bodies so that we can understand them. So, goddess forbid, if there is an illness, a disease down the road, we are more familiar with our body. So we know what the baseline is and when something is wrong. So it's really important to cultivate this self intimacy with your body. And I always talk about proprioception and interoception. So right now, we're scrubbing the edges of our body, right? Our skin, our barrier between us and the rest of the world. And that is considered proprioception. So you can think of peripheral vision, proprioception. It's really getting our brain online with where our body ends and the rest of the world begins. It's about knowing where your body is located in space. If you remember back to when you were a beginner at yoga, it might have been hard for you to know where your foot was and where your hand was and where your head was, and you couldn't really understand how the body worked together as a whole. That was because your proprioception was coming online. You were strengthening that muscle and that part of the brain. So we're going to start scrubbing now into the back of the neck, the back body. On that same side, we've been scrubbing on the front. For me, it's my right hand, so it's the left side. So just starting to scrub and explore into the bones of the scapula, the skin of the shoulders. And maybe you don't spend a lot of time touching your own body, your own skin, your own back. So really just exploring here. What's going on? Where do things connect? So the other piece we were talking about is interoception. And interoception is coming to learn the inner maps of your body from the inside out. So, like last week, we did that golden honey meditation. That was really a journey of interoception. We didn't really bring our hands to our body much last week. This week is kind of the opposite. And I think what we're going to start doing in this series is picking a different body part and just kind of getting super familiar with it each week. So, we're doing the back because I'm in back pain. So, that's how it goes. So, continuing to scrub on that left side, you can notice the shoulder, deltoid, how it feels for your fingers that are doing the touching and how it feels from the inside out, that interoception. How does it feel for that body part you're touching? I like to lift the arm overhead and get into the armpit. It is super gnarly in there. Can feel really vulnerable. And then just grabbing back behind the scapula here. If you can find your outer scapula, just kind of bringing a hold in there. And it's a gentle dragging pressure around to the rib cage. Just noticing what's in there as we start to scrub the intercostal muscles between the rib cages. Just noticing, is it making you feel like, ew, this is gross, I don't like touching my body? Can you do it anyway? Can you be with that feeling of disgust and trust that it will subside and that it is worth it to touch our bodies? It is worth it if we want regulated nervous systems, if we want that health. Beautiful. Scrubbing into that side body and around down as that connects into the hip. And just noticing maybe some regulation already coming in as you scrub down into that hip flexor. Beautiful. Let's scrub the belly on that left side from under the breast down to the belly button, those abdominals. It's a gentle pressure we're bringing. And then into that psoas. If you know that you store a lot in there, there might be some trauma in there, some emotions held. Just holding space for that as you scrub. And now we're going to bring it around to the back body. That low back on the left side, from the sacrum down and around the hip. Maybe just noticing internally with that interoception what's already flowing. You can just kind of brush that down the leg and release. And we're just going to notice now between the left side and the right side, any regulation coming in, any contrast, any differences. Where's your awareness? What once you're noticing, your attention? Connecting into that breath. It's really interesting because I pulled my back on the right scapula and the pain has traveled to the left because of compensation. And there's all these thought forms coming up. So let's talk about pain. When you have pain, you might get familiar with witnessing the pain. What is pain? Can you locate it? What is the texture of the pain? What is the severity, the intensity? What's the temperature? Where does the pain stop and the neutrality begin? Can I, just by bringing my awareness to the pain, shift the experience? I do this with period cramps a lot, where I'll be like, okay, really, what is pain? And I'll go right into it. And what I find is that it dissipates, it dissolves more often than not just by me holding space and not resisting and clenching and tightening against the pain, which makes pain worse. But we think that by avoiding it, ignoring it, we're helping ourselves, but in fact, we are intensifying the pain. So just a note on pain. It's so interesting if we can be with it, if we're, spiritual badasses and we're willing to go right into the heart of it, how it can start to change. So yeah, I'm just going to bring a hand to that left scapula and you can join me if you wish, just kind of noticing there's a little muscle under there, under the bone. Maybe bringing your fingers to it, just noticing between the scapula and the spine. If you want to shake out the fascia there, if you want to scrub into it, or if you just want to bring a hold as I am. So a hold in this fascial work, we're just bringing some light pressure and then allowing gravity to just naturally draw the fingers across the spot, the affected spot. I'm just doing this with love, with breath. It can be really powerful to bring in some ujjayi breathing, some ocean breathing. like you're fogging up a mirror. Shake out that wrist. Beautiful. Okay, let's take it to the other side. We're gonna scrub now into the right side. I'm like, did I already do this side? No. So just getting under any bra straps, any clothing. I like to just scrub at first, noticing the collarbones, what's underneath there, into the neck. Maybe just rolling the neck out a few times. You can just kind of grab the back of the neck and even do a little drag around to the front. Engaging the breath. This makes me want to do the jaw. We'll do the jaw next if we have time. Might bring a little hold into the back of that right shoulder, which I'm noticing on the left side, and just bringing a little bit of a drag. And be with your sensations. Beautiful. Getting into that right deltoid, that right shoulder bone, and scrubbing down into that right arm, through the elbow, down through the top of the hand. I don't think we did the hand on the other side. We'll have to get the hand on the other side. The palm of the hand, through that wrist, the elbow crease, and then let's bring the arm overhead and get into that armpit on the right side. Grabbing back behind that scapula, noticing your outer scapula here, bringing in a nice gentle hold and a slight drag around the ribs. Beautiful. And scrubbing into those intercostals on that right side. It always brings up for me a sense of, or it often brings up like a sense of, I don't want to touch my body here. Even making that resistance welcome. Up under the breast, down into the belly button. Can lower that arm. And then we're going to scrub down into that hip. So just moving the fascia around, the psoas, the hip flexor, just getting acquainted with your body. This is your body. You have every right to touch it. It might feel taboo or awkward. Getting down into the glute. Of course, we've got the IT band, sciatic nerve all through here. Noticing what's flowing. And just brush that out. Beautiful. Sit back down and just notice our awareness here. Is it more balanced now? Ooh, feeling a intense pain on that scapula on the left side. So I'm just gonna shake out my arm, just be with it. Maybe bringing the awareness in the body. I'm just going to practice here with you in real time, just intersecting that pain, penetrating it, inhabiting it. Noticing the judgment coming up, the self-judgment, the self-criticism, those classic "I'm a piece of shit" thoughts. This is just one story. This is not truth. Our thoughts can be real but not true, dear ones. Witnessing that with love. That part needs from me just some awareness, some gentleness, some softness. And pain is shifting, softening, loosening. Just wants to be felt. Just as all these parts, these inner critic parts, these inner child parts, these imposter syndrome parts, they really want your love. They want you to value stopping, to value presence, patience, value the pause, the silence, the stillness. So that you might hear them, so that we might witness them, and even just say to that part, I'm so sorry for your pain. I include you in my circle of awareness. I include you in my circle of love. And even just now, can you include your entire self in your circle of awareness? Humming as one ecosystem of parts. Can you include this entire system in your circle of love and care? And today, what feels possible when you widen this circle to include your environment, those you share it with, can you widen the circle of care to include the building you live in, your neighborhood, your town or city, your state, your country, your continent, your hemisphere, the planet, the cosmos. These ever widening circles of awareness and love and care. It starts right here. It starts with your inner life and with your felt experience. And go ahead and open our eyes. Let's make sure we scrub on that other side, the left side, the arm, down into that elbow crease, through the wrist, into the palm, the back of the hand. I'm feeling that pain, but it is changing. Can we notice, like, without the judgment and the self-criticism, can it just become interesting? It's interesting. It's painful. But when I include it in my circle of care, it's interesting. So if you have the therapy ball, we're going to use that. If not, let me tell you about these. So a lot of times in my classes and my workshops, we'll be using therapy balls. I have the Gorgeous ball. gorgeous ball. These can all be found at tuneupfitness.com, tuneupfitness.com. This one mimics skin to skin, and it's really sweet. You can inflate it more, deflate it more, just depending on what kind of surface area pressure you're going for. This one is really sweet for doing some of the light touch work we've been doing, which actually releases oxytocin. And then we've got bigger ones. The alpha ball I don't have right now. I need to order a new one, but that would be an even bigger size, more surface area. It can be intense, but good for those big muscles like the glutes. This is the more medium size tune-up fitness ball. I need to plug my computer in. And then our final one is the little teeny tiny purple one. And they come in this tote, and it's really nice because you can put two together and lay on a yoga block and work it into the back of your head. So I definitely recommend that. But for all these balls, you can put them against the wall and roll out the different parts of the body. I'm not really set up for that today, so I'm just gonna bring it in to that scapula area and just do some nice little circles so we continue to just notice what's alive for the back body, the chest, the arms, the upper body today. Yeah, just get in there and explore. If you're with me live, type in the comments. What are you noticing? It brings a sense of regulation. It actually can help us. So let me talk a little bit about polyvagal theory. So you might notice that from time to time you're in a state of freeze or shutdown. This is considered dorsal, the dorsal state in the polyvagal system. And this is a theory of trauma and how trauma impacts the nervous system. So most people that I see out and about living their lives are in a state of dorsal shutdown. They are in a state of freeze. They are in a state of, really like frozen tissue. Like if you were to touch their fascia, it would feel harder, more solidified, like not so soft and supple and open, really quite closed off and afraid. It can be difficult to witness this in ourselves and in others because it almost feels like that lizard brain from our early evolution, really that state of just roll over and play dead. And what we need as human beings is to see each other's eyes and connect and have a sense of community. And so if we're constantly picking up these signals that everyone around us is in a dorsal state, a state of shutdown and freeze energy, then our little inner child deep down, our soft animal body is constantly getting the message that it's not safe to engage, to relate, to connect, to put ourselves out there. It's not safe to be open. It's not safe to be soft, and everyone's, on their phone, really protecting their heart, shoulders hunched, head down, not looking up, not making eye contact. So it really sends these signals to our inner child that just wants to connect and be soft and playful and open, that actually it needs to shut down because it's not going to find what it needs in these other human beings. And actually, the safest, best option for it is to just mimic that behavior, which we have mirror neurons. So we are constantly reorganizing our neurons to mirror the environment we're in. That's why it's so important that we put ourselves in healthy environments, that we put ourselves in healthy friend groups, that we consume more aligned content. Because our mirror neurons are constantly trying to reorganize themselves based on what they see. So that's dorsal. The middle state of polyvagal theory is sympathetic. So our sympathetic nervous system, right, which is the fight or flight state. And this is really, if you notice that you're someone that tends to overfunction, to go into overworking, overdoing, really stressed out and tending toward anxious, and we all have this from time to time. This is your nervous system, like really trying to get out of that frozen state, but it almost overshoots it. And yeah, it feels really, really bad on the body. And so, touching the body in this way can actually help not only like thaw out the body from the dorsal, but to actually regulate and bring a sense of calm and ease to the sympathetic state. So it works both ways. So whether you're in dorsal or you're in sympathetic, doing this work, putting your hands on your body, moving your body, regulating your nervous system in any way, whether it's breath work, tapping, meditation, just bringing the awareness inside the body, getting curious, um, doing some yoga, going for a walk, putting your feet on the earth, all of these practices that we're talking about in embodied leadership are going to serve you. And sometimes we're sort of in this combo mix, or we keep oscillating between dorsal and sympathetic. And it's like, don't worry, because whatever you choose, it's going to help you. Because what we're going for is that third state in the polyvagal ladder, which is the top state, which is like healthy vagal nerve tone. Um, and this is going to be, it's ventral vagal is what it's called. And so this state is one where we've regulated our nervous system. We've increased our vagal tone, which I'll talk about. Maybe we'll do a class on vocalizing. But vagal tone, we've widened our window of tolerance. And we can now make eye contact. We can lean in. We can connect. Um, we actually have this incredible power. Why I work with leaders, we have this incredible power when we're just living from a state of ventral vagal, when our nervous system is regulated on the daily, when we've befriended our own experience. We are then able to go out and be these leaders because you're an energetic leader. That's what you're doing by being in a state of regulation, by being someone that when you're in pain, you don't lash out, but rather you hold it and you witness it, and you send it love and include it in your experience and your circle of care. When you live like this, you are sending this beam of light into the world to say, not only am I not like this shut down zombie, but I am actually available for connection. I'm available for collaboration. I'm available for creativity. I'm available for fun and flow and play. I'm available for changing the world with you. That's energetic leadership, and we need us all to get embodied so that we can lead in this way, and then we can see it reflected in each other and know that it's safe. It's safe to connect and to be our authentic self and to do the work we came here to do. So that's what we're doing inside Nourished Leaders, which is my 12-week leadership program. We're on week 3 right now, and we decided to open up these weekly embodied leadership classes to the public. So if you got something out of this, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear. If you have any questions about polyvagal theory, about myofascia, about nervous system, about energetic leadership, definitely let me know. And I'll be back here next Monday, same time, 10 a.m. Eastern. We're going to keep doing these little 30-minute pop-up classes just to kind of start the week off with some embodiment. So if you have any specific things you'd like to see us work on, definitely send me a DM and I will absolutely consider that. I always love getting ideas for meditations, for parts of the body to work on, for different nervous system techniques. So, sending you all so much love today. Have a beautiful week ahead, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye.